Welcome to episode 36 of Grab ATTN podcast. This is a Gary V Club podcast. The purpose of today's podcast is to grab Gary's attention for a human rat city prototype. And I've got limited days of internet and I'm making a transition. This may be the last day that I do the podcast because I may be busy the next few days with this internet connection while I'm making the best use of it. So my goal is to continue the podcast, continue it as a daily habit. When I get the internet back, then I will start the daily show back up as planned. Now, why am I telling Gary Vaynerchuk this? Because the intention is for a very small investment to help accelerate the creation of a human rat city prototype. Now, I started to once, and now I'm ready to do it again. I waited 7 years before doing it again, but I never stopped the research. This is, where I've been living in the dirt, really feeling the pains of what I needed to solve. And that's homelessness, helping to feed, house, and empower people. Now, feeding, housing, and empowering people sounds a little fluffy, but then I combine it with living, working, playing, loving, learning, and paying it forward. Those are based on human needs. Living as in certainty, working as in significance, playing as in variety, loving as in connecting, learning as in growing, and then paying it forward as in contributing to something greater than yourself. And I think that's something that you're really doing, Gary. I think that's what the whole group of VaynerX is doing. It's making your contribution to the world. And you plan on buying the jets. You plan on making billions of dollars. Now, this is a genuine opportunity to make $1 billion. Now, let's think about this. I'm doing a Series A round of funding, and we've got 10 million shares. Now, why am I pitching like this? I'm pitching like this because one of your people needs to see this and tell you about it. You said that the best way to get a hold of you is to influence someone that's connected to you. So now, of course, I'm getting a distraction right at the time that I need to focus most. My point is, I'm doing a Series A, and I want you to invest in it. And by the IPO in 10 years, not tomorrow, but 10 years from now, then I believe your share will be worth $1 billion. Now, why does that even matter? What am I even doing? Why did I start with the money before really going deep? It's because this is a mental health startup. It's a human rat city startup. If you know what Rat City was, it was to test drug addictions in rats. And basically, the premise is if you create a fun community, the rats won't do drugs. But if you just leave them in seclusion in a box, then they're going to do drugs. This has been part of my prototyping, but it's been only a small part. InspireLansing.com has a video on there about what I had done in 2012. And now I've taken and looked at the world in more ways, experienced more things, slept outside with homeless, lived in a small, tiny space, lived in a, since 2012, I lived in a 90 square foot utility closet with 2 other people um, built a little shower in there with a small little water heater and all these things. Now,